I'll take it. What are you doing?
Now leave it alone. Don't touch the camera. It is on. Don't touch it. Don't touch the fucking camera, please. Thank you very much.
Don't swear at
Or I will ring the police. Don't touch the camera.
Hello! Long time no video. This one's going to be about chalking events. So I ran a chalking event in Bradford. It's my first ever event I've run. I was talked into it by an organiser who thought it'd be a good idea for me to do it, and I did it. For the most part, it wasn't really that much effort. You know, I just sent out some Facebook invites, I bought some chalk, I told everyone where and when to meet. And then when it was running, I was sort of in charge. I suppose I had to deal with any issues that rose up and just made sure everyone was feeling okay and organising people. And we had a pretty good day. These are some of our pictures, which they had a really good turnout. 13 of us were there, which was like crazy. And Bradford is a really good place to chalk. We did Bradford chalking. And people did lots of really, really pretty pictures. One lady who comes is very, very, very talented. And she drew loads of beautiful animals. And then everyone else did pretty good too. You know. But yeah, so that's what I did on the second. No, sorry, the first Friday night. Friday night we're in Bradford doing chalking, and then Saturday night I was in Leeds doing chalking, and I wasn't in charge of that one. So I took my camera along. I did some outreach, and we have quite a bit of footage of outreach happening in Leeds. So this is two different chalking events. The first one was just pictures, and now you're going to see some videos of the outreach. Interesting conversations, very interesting events. Did not expect what happened to happen, but we did some outreach anyway. There's only really 3 conversations. I'll do one at the end after the outro. But yeah. Enjoy.
Do you have a conversation?
About what?
About what we're doing here.
You're saying don't eat dogs, but you've got a dog collar on, mate.
What does that matter? Right, so we're here today.
I just came
Guys, go over here and have a conversation. Come on.
Are you the police?
I know I'm not the police, but you clearly want attention, so I'm giving you it. It's recording.
Is it recording?
Yeah.
No,
It's recording, yeah.
Are you supposed to
If you want, I can give you a link at the end and you can see the video.
Oh, I can see a video! Can we post it on Facebook? Yes! Oh man, this is gonna go viral.
Right.
It's on famous!
So, do you think we need to eat animals to survive? I know you do, but does anyone else think?
Oh, that is racist. I know you do.
That's not how it works, right? So, do you think that you need to eat animals to survive? Right, you love meat, right? Yeah? Okay. So do you think you need to eat meat to survive? Okay, so
have you ever tasted those?
So there are people out there who haven't eaten meat their entire. There are people out there who have not eaten meat their entire lives, right?
Oh, actually, no.
Yeah, and they're not dead, right?
Which is normal to eat.
So can we agree that you don't need to eat animals to survive?
No, we do.
Why not?
I need what you want. Because it's in the food wheel.
But that's not a need, right?
Can you shut up? Jesus is
not a need.
Now, Rich. Don't make me get Jesus.
So is there a need or is there not a need to eat meat?
It is. I think it's a need to eat meat. Don't try to tell me what I need. Can I tell you something?
Well, I'm not telling you what you need, I'm asking you what you need.
Oh, why are you?
Well, you don't, though, do you?
Yeah, can you listen to me?
Do you have a pet?
You've got a soul.
Do you have any pets?
Life.
Well, I mean...
I have 6 cats,
Okay.
2 dogs, and 2 ferrets.
And would you eat any of them?
I like my cat to eat. I'm going to eat.
You would kill your cat to eat it? You would legitimately kill your cat to eat it?
That sounds nice. Excuse me. Can you tell her? Tell her.
This young girl here has said she would kill her cat.
How do you know she's got her? She's a girl. How do you know she's a girl?
You don't eat cats, do you?
They shouldn't be doing this. You can eat what you want.
You can't eat what you want. I can't eat humans.
Would you never eat eggs?
We're also not allowed to eat dogs either,
Would you
right?
never eat an egg?
I don't eat eggs now. I did used to do that. I did used to eat eggs. I ate eggs for longer than you've been alive.
No, you haven't. You're killing baby egg, baby chicken.
No, because I don't eat them anymore.
Alright. Yeah, you used used to.
I did used to, yeah, I stopped.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I stopped, yeah.
Yeah, but you still
So are you though, right? So are you though, right? But I stopped and you didn't.
No, but imagine how many animals you've killed and you went there.
Exactly. That's why I'm here trying to help you stop.
But it's not going to change.
It is going to change.
No, it's not going to change.
When I was your age, right?
You really think
When I was your age,
some guy with cat paws,
say again?
dog collar.
No, I don't. So when I was your age, they didn't have plant-based option in McDonald's or KFC or Greg's, right? So it is changing. The world is changing,
The
right?
world's not changing. It's still
No, it
in
is.
the same way. It's just emos, lesbians, and people who don't eat fish as well.
Okay.
That changes the world. And fucking
The world is changing. The world is
Are you a
changing.
boy or a girl? A cat.
I'm a girl.
Are you part of the LGBT? You're a girl?
I am, yeah.
That's exactly why people don't like people with LGBTQ because they're trying to make us stop eating chicken sandwiches.
Is that why?
Or chicken nuggets.
Is that why?
Yeah, but we need to eat chicken.
When I was in high school, they said, I said I'm only about LGBTQ, and they called me homophobic. I'm proud to be.
You're proud to be.
I hate it all.
You're proud to be homophobic.
Yeah, if you're religious, you're not allowed to.
Okay.
We're religious. Are you religious?
You're allowed to eat meat, it says so in the Bible.
Yeah, but you're not allowed to be gay.
It says, that's right, Leviticus.
But Leviticus also says that you eat if you wear clothes made of two different cloths. You're not allowed to do that. Are you wearing clothes made of two different cloths?
100% cotton,
And what's the vest made out of?
100% polyester.
So they're two different cloths.
And look at what you're wearing. You're wearing cotton.
That's not how it works.
Yes, it is.
You've killed the bird to put
You killed a dog to make them.
No, I didn't. I didn't.
Before you start worrying about what I'm eating, you need to worry about that.
So this didn't kill anyone, right?
Yes, but what are you wearing?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what I'm wearing.
Give us an outfit check. That's a mother. Where's your outfit from?
Where's the colour from out? Can I have a outfit check?
You're literally in a video with me currently.
Shut your mouth. That I wanted to be in this video, I did not consent.
So you're in the public, so you're allowed to take pictures of people in the public.
Actually, no, that's not how it works.
No, that's not how it
Minor.
works. So if you wanted to take a picture of me now, it would be fine.
Needs a mum and dad picture.
Of course you can.
Yeah! When I should get a photo.
Please don't touch me though, because that's not fine.
Are you agreeing these guys? Listen to this one. Yeah. Listen to them ones.
I think he's talking to the Jesus guy.
Yeah, Jesus.
I kind of agree with you about the Jesus guy.
I'm telling him, what's causing me?
So religion is like a...
Yeah, but you're shouting at that guy.
I'm not shouting him. I'm not shouting
That
him.
you don't like him or what?
I said that I agreed with that guy over there.
I'm going to carry on me. Because this does not affect me.
You want me to buy you a burger?
No, I don't want to buy
Your
anything.
words aren't going to change anything. No offense.
Well, that's okay, but the thing is...
Nobody's going to listen to someone dressed like this. What's the point in doing that?
Tell him again. I just said, he went,
Jesus is not real.
I'm a peacemaker.
tell him.
Yes, a public place. Children are there. Keep your
It's a clown show today, huh?
Give your love to keep
Why did you get it? She said Jesus is real.
What is going on?
I was talking about
What do you think? Do you still think our position's extreme and we're surrounded by nutters?
It depends on what side you're on.
What side am I on? Of which side though? What do you mean?
Well, you obviously left wing woke, aren't you?
I mean, I wouldn't. I'd say I would believe in like sort of social liberties and animal rights and, you know, people's right to independence and freedom and, you know, freedom of expression, whatever that might be. I think as long as your rights don't inhibit other people's rights, then you should be allowed to have
It
them.
has that, hasn't it?
What do you mean?
It has, because you've gone to the extreme.
How am I going to the extreme?
Where the minority is now ruling the majority.
We're not though.
You are.
We're not. If I give you two examples, can you tell me which one's extreme? Okay, so let's say that some pleb decides to stand on the street and try and encourage people to change their diet. Is that more extreme than someone going into a restaurant and buying the flesh of a dead sentient creature and eating that? Which one's more extreme?
Well, you're allowed to eat meat. God gave permission.
But that's not the point, is it? Which one's more extreme? I'm not saying which one God thinks is allowed. I'm saying which one's more extreme, right? If God was here and he said, I'm going to offer you two different meals, One of them is a salad with some beans and some bread and some other things, and the other one is a dead animal that you have killed with a knife. Which one is more extreme? Which one would God think was maybe better to eat?
They wouldn't be viewed differently, would they?
Why not though? Did God say, did Noah not save all the animals? Like, why did Noah save the animals if they're not?
Because of the flood.
But why did he save them? If they don't have any...
So for the continuation, that's why he had...
but if they have no importance...
female on the boat.
If they have no importance, why save them in the first place? Like God also said, do not kill, right? Oh, do we have to get involved?
Jesus is love. No thanks. Jesus love you.
Whoever would have thought Bradford would be less rowdy than Leeds?
Leeds is brilliant on a night. Absolutely brilliant.
What is going on, eh? Why does my camera get pointed over there?
To film the fight, of course.
To film the fight? I don't want no incriminating evidence on my camera. Let's go talk to these lovely people. What do you guys think?
The best speech. What do I think? It's interesting.
Yeah.
You're sort of waking up the mind of the people. You know, that's what you're doing because we're in a materialistic world, aren't we?
Yeah, we see animals as materials, right? We see them as a product instead of living creatures.
Oh no, I see them as living creatures because the man upstairs, he created them.
Yeah. But when you go to a restaurant and you order beef, right, that's not a living creature, that's a product.
Well, no. Well, you see, what you got to take into consideration is man against man, isn't it?
I don't think it is. I think we're all here together. I don't think it's anyone against anyone. I don't feel like we're in a competition right now.
Listen, my brother.
Okay.
You might not be in competition with me, but when you sit down and you analyze the way the world is and the way it was before you and I came, right?
But the world was really awful before we came, right?
No, it's still awful. Well,
exactly right. But like, if we go back 200 years, people were on boats, right, being bought and sold, which is awful.
It still goes on even today.
It does.
But in a different format.
Yeah.
Right?
But would you not say it's, inherently slightly better, right? Like, I'm not saying racism is gone. I would never say that. But it was considerably worse 200 years ago, right?
Take a walk in my shoes.
I would love to.
Right?
I would love to. I would love to. I'm a trans person, I'm not particularly either, It's not. I appreciate discrimination, and I don't think I know your perspective at all. But like, the animals, they live in cages, right? They're bred in cages.
But they say it's man against man, and the way we treat each other. And I'll just say, where animals are concerned, they should be leaving Africa to run free.
Yeah. Not like, so if you have the option of having a meal where the animals are free or where they're killed to eat.
No, I can do with both.
Why though? If you think they should be free.
I'm not a vegetarian.
But why? But why?
I'm not a vegetarian, but it doesn't really bother me.
But why is what I'm asking.
Why is what?
Why doesn't it bother you?
Well, because the thing is, because the man upstairs he did say to us that we should take care of the animals.
Okay.
Right? And there are certain things that we should have, and there are certain things that we're not supposed to have. But then and I'm sure with you studying these type of things more than I do, there are countries that you go into and everything that moves they eat.
Yeah, but the thing is, right, so the thing is, if we say that God gave us the
wisdom, knowledge and understanding
to look after animals, right?
Yes, that's right.
Have you seen what the animal conditions are in dairy farms and egg farms and...
Yeah, but then at the same time,
but would you consider that being looked after?
No.
Then why do you buy it?
Well, I'm not, we don't eat a lot of meat.
Yeah, but okay, so people say that, but would you do anything else less instead of just not doing it? Like, would you be racist less? Would you be homophobic less?
No, I'm not.
Would you litter less?
I don't.
I used to like meat.
I don't believe in all those type of things about living. Let's live.
Yeah, but if you live and let live and eat an animal, you're not living and letting living, right? You're living and killing.
No, I'm not killing.
You are. Because you pay for someone to do it, so they do it.
No, because the man upstairs, he said there are certain things that we should have, and there are certain things that we're not supposed to have.
But did he say there's certain things you need to have? Because he also said abstain from sort of, what do you call it, where you want something, like a drug.
Why do you
What's it called? Yearnings, things that you want that aren't necessarily good, like alcohol, drugs, whatever, you know, things that you do because they make you feel good but aren't necessarily good. Is meat not one of those? Is meat not something that we eat because we like it and we enjoy the taste, but actually it's a really awful process for the victim, for the animal?
Well, for me, standing there talking to you, I can do without it.
You could? You could go home and give up meat entirely?
Yeah. It doesn't bother me.
28 years ago, 28 years, I ate meat, eggs and dairy.
Yes.
Then I met someone like me, and they said, look at this footage of dead animals being ground up in a blender.
Yes.
And I was like, no, I'm not eating this anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me.
Every time you sit down to eat, if you eat an animal product, there is a victim, and they might taste good. Yeah, and God might say it's okay.
Yes.
But you are choosing to do something that you don't need to do that is inherently cruel.
So is this what it's about?
It's quarter to 5, we've got an appointment at quarter.
Can I give you a leaflet? Can I give you a leaflet?
Late.
I will give you a leaflet.
Go on.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Oh, it's a SeaWorld leaflet. Have that one anyway. Nice day. Think about it. Think about it. You too. Interesting conversation. Okay, more people. We're trying camera people in my phone, they soon leave.
It's just amazing. And people, they do a giant world. And people are running. It's so funny. I really like people, they're really moving.
What do you guys think? It's quite small. What do you think, mate?
Yeah, I've been a vegetarian since I was 16.
Okay.
I tried veganism for about 4 years, but the price of the stuff, I just couldn't afford it.
Were you trying to buy meat substitutes and stuff?
Yeah, everything.
Paula. Some of the alternatives can be a bit pricey, but like at the end of the day, rice and beans is like the cheapest thing you can ever eat, right?
Yeah.
Did you go vegetarian for the animals?
Yeah.
Yeah. You were aware of what happened?
Vegan for the animals as well.
Yeah.
I saw what happens to them in the paddocks and the rest of it.
Yeah, dairy and eggs is really cruel. When you actually look into it, a lot of the time people go vegetarian and then they realise that eggs and dairy is just as bad.
Yeah, but the one thing my friend says to me, which kind of like, was truth like, is eggs would get wasted otherwise. You know, if it wasn't the situation they're in, now don't get me wrong, I think it's bad what happens to them, but in an ideal world, if we look after them properly and everything, they would lay out eggs and we just throw them away because there'd be no use.
Well, the problem is though, like the amount of eggs we have is only because we breed them, right? So like these chickens only exist because we bred them to exist, and they don't live long lives. So if we stopped eating eggs, in about 4 years, all the chickens that we did have for eggs would basically not exist.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm one of these things that I don't like the idea of cutting down life either, whatever it might be. You know, just for the sake of like proving a point.
But you've gone vegetarian for the animals, right? Like, so you've already done that.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and like, if you stopped eating meat, presumably because you didn't want to like buy products of murder, right? But like, if you buy dairy and eggs, you're essentially buying products of torture.
Yeah.
Right? Because like, egg-laying chickens used to lay 12 eggs a year. Now they lay 300. Right. And the process of a chicken laying egg is basically the same as a human having a baby. That's like the size ratio.
Right.
So if you imagine a woman having a baby every single day for her entire life, that sounds like torture, right?
Yeah.
And you know, dairy farms are just as bad. Dairy farms, they literally have so much milk that they are begging to be milked because they're in pain.
Yeah.
They have to be constantly impregnated over and over again because that's how you get milk.
The lambs get and
the calves get killed, exactly. So you know what happens. But the presumably it's just like the. Is it just what I don't understand? What's the thing then that's stopping you?
Money.
Money.
Yeah, I can't afford to be vegan.
But why not? Can't you just not eat milk and cheese?
Well,
is that not inherently cheaper if you just don't eat?
Yeah, I mean, I go around to other people's houses a lot and stuff, and I mean, I will even eat a fish thing or whatever, you know, tuna or whatever, because it's somebody else's. So I won't go like, oh no, I don't eat that. It's not a case like, at the end of the day, to me, it's food. It could be food, you know what I mean? And to some people it is, some people it isn't. And me personally, I wouldn't touch meat. But if I'm going to someone's house and they're good enough to cook me up, and that's all they've got, and I don't want to put them out by saying, no. So go get there.
A lot of people struggle with this. Like it's like a societal pressure, right? Because like it's normal to eat meat and it's normal to eat dairy. And to some extent, if you say I'm vegan, people instantly sort of outside you. They like push you away.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, fair enough. My mum kind of at first was like, you know, what the hell are you doing that for? Blah blah blah. But at the same time, she had the caring aspect of having a tray underneath the fridge, you know, in the bottom of the fridge, for my stuff, you know, like when I lived with her. So like, it was like a case of, it was like push away everyone and come with you. You know, that's the way.
Do you have many vegan friends?
No.
No. Do you think it would be easier to be vegan if you had more vegan friends?
Not really, no. I don't think it would. I think it's just, again, it's the money. It's just like, you kind of like, we're pressured.
But money, like I appreciate that, but you can just eat rice and beans, right? So to some extent it's not money, right? Because you could just eat the cheapest source of food, which is rice and beans, which is, you know, that's the cheapest. Well, that's not the point, is it? Then it's not money, right? If it's because you don't like beans, it's not money anymore, right? It's taste, it's pleasure, right?
Yeah, but I mean, it's just like me saying to you, stuff a lamb chop down your neck. You know, you don't want to, but you kind of have to because you haven't got any choice.
Well, I mean, I could eat something else, right?
No, I'm saying that's what I'm saying. No, because you don't like lamb chops, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But no, I do like lamb chops, but the reason I don't eat them is because a lamb has to die, right?
Right. Okay. Well, I don't know what vegetable do you not like?
So I'm not that picky with food anymore. I just eat whatever these days. I think I'm not a massive fan of aubergine still, but otherwise I just eat food because like when I sit down to eat, my main concern is whether or not an animal has died or been tortured.
Yeah.
And then the food is secondary, right? Like it gives me sustenance, and you know if I enjoy the taste, that's great. But my main concern when I sit down to eat is whether or not another living being has been harmed.
Right.
Which I think is quite. Now that I've got there.
Yeah.
Like that's a priority. You know what I mean?
I'm of the opinion that if the animal's been treated right, that to kill it wouldn't be like such a, you wouldn't know. Firstly, I mean now they do know. You know, you see cattle going to the grids and they know what's coming because they're getting that bad treatment.
But this is an argument for meat, right? Which you've already given up.
Yeah, yeah.
Like dairy, you cannot treat them well. You cannot treat a dairy cow or a chicken or an egg-laying chicken well because their existence is literally torture. Right? They produced 300 eggs a year, which is the equivalent of giving birth for a human. And dairy cows are constantly impregnated, you know, raped basically, and their babies are taken away from them, so they have to grieve the baby, and then the baby is killed.
Yeah.
So you can't treat those cows or those chickens well because their life is suffering.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I struggled with. You know, when I came into Leeds one Sunday and saw the videos of what was going on and
yeah,
you know, with the anonymous school.
Yeah.
But like at the end of the day, I mean, if you look back on the dinosaurs, you know what I mean?
We don't base our morals off animals, right? Like, I could say if we look back at the dinosaurs and then kill you, right? Because dinosaurs used to kill each other. But we don't do that, right? Like, that would be silly.
Yeah, but there's different ways of killing people, it's just slower.
True, but like, that's not the point, right? That's not an argument for eating torture, right?
Yeah, but we could go depth into it. I mean, the fact is people like, I mean, Hitler was a vegetarian.
He wasn't. That's not actually true. That's a myth, unfortunately. But even if he was, it wouldn't mean, like, Hitler breathed oxygen, right? And me and you both breathed oxygen. There's no, just because two things are connected.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's kind of one thing done, it's like Hitler probably thought, right, I don't eat meat, so I don't mind slaughtering a few Jews.
But okay, So then you're saying that? Wait, no, I know. This is a weird argument. Like, why can you not go vegan?
Well, it's not a case of why can't I? I have. But I found that it's very, very expensive for me personally. In whatever
But
world
you can say
I
that
live
about
in.
any diet, though, right? You can say that about vegetarianism.
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, I don't believe like I'm going to just like put my clogs and go to heaven or hell or wherever, and the list is going to say you ate a burger that morning. Do you remember?
But does that matter? Does that matter? Like
We
the
said it
list
now.
could also say hasn't, like didn't litter or isn't racist or isn't homophobic. But that wouldn't mean that you go around
doing
and
your
litter.
best, not going around kind of like informing people of your stature in a process to try and make them feel more like you.
I'm not trying to make you feel more like me.
Well, this one here is.
So I used to eat meat, eggs and dairy for 28 years, right? And the only reason I stopped is because people showed me. Right?
Yeah.
So we're not doing this to make us feel like other people feel worse than us. We're trying to help people because every single one of us wish we went vegan earlier. Yeah. Every single one of us. And the only way that people go vegan earlier is if other people help them.
Yeah, I've got nothing against vegetarianism and veganism or anything like that. I mean, like I say, since I was 16, I'm 46 now. I've been a vegetarian stroke vegan. Vegan for 5 years nearly. Until the pressure of commerce pushed me out of it. Not to say I don't feel for the animals, I do, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I've got to eat something, And
you do, but you could.
I can't just go and buy a big bag of rice and say, eat that.
That's what I do.
Yeah, no, but that's you.
Exactly. But that's because when I sit down for a meal,
it's on me an issue that you're quite comfortable with. That's fair enough.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, at the end of the day, that is not a lifestyle I'm used to.
Yeah.
Fair enough, if I was in the third world, and that were the only food, we wouldn't be able to eat Yorkshire pudding and the rest of it.
We can have vegan Yorkshire puddings.
I'm saying if we were in the third world, we couldn't exactly send them over a Sunday lunch and say, eat that, Mr. Or a little child from the third world. It wouldn't go through their system. All they've got to eat is grain, and that is how they work, if you know what I mean. I'm not being funny, but that is how their stomach at that point in time, after decades of hunger and the rest of it, all they can break down is that.
But I don't see what this has to do with you then.
No, because I'm not arguing. I'm not going to say to you, go shop and go eat I don't know, a bloody onion ring or something. You know what I mean? The thing is, it's like I go to the supermarket, and yeah, I think I try my best to get things which have no eggs and stuff in, but it has cost so much for me personally that I have had to go and think, well, look, it's there, it's food, right? At the end of the day, that isn't get wasted on the shelf if someone doesn't eat it.
But if people don't eat it, they stop producing it, right? Like if we all stopped eating eggs and we all stopped eating cheese, they would stop breeding cows and chickens into awful conditions.
I thoroughly agree with you. If everyone on the planet did that, then you would do that. But like you just said earlier, then all the animals would disappear because there's no bread in it.
Yeah, but that's okay. Would you rather live in a life?
That's okay. Lose all the animals. Lose the ecosystem.
So, no, it's not the ecosystem. There are 73 billion chickens on the planet.
Right.
Chickens make up 60% of all birds on the planet, but they don't leave
because they get eaten.
They don't leave warehouses. They live in warehouses.
I'm aware of that.
The domestic animal industry, it's nothing to do with the ecosystem. The domestic animal industry is literally the biggest contributor of deforestation and de-wildification.
Cows live in the field, don't they?
Most of the time these days they live in factories.
Well, I see a lot on the fields.
You might see some on the fields, yeah.
They would disappear.
They would.
Those fields belong to farmers who paid money for that field. Right or wrong, you know what I mean? It's not their fault.
I don't think you can say that, right? Because you could have made the same argument for slavery. You could have said those slave owners paid for that land and paid for those boats and paid for those people, and they should be allowed to keep them, right or wrong. But that's an abhorrent argument, right? You would never say that.
Hopefully we've moved on. I mean, now it's all gone under the radar as that. But slavery it exists, but there's just not enough of these people to kind of do the work properly, and find out who's reading what.
But the reason we're here is because people don't realise that they contribute to something when they buy a product.
I see that.
Okay.
Thank you for watching, guys. That last one was super frustrating. I'm sorry if you sat through it. I was just being me with the edits, to be honest, because I don't know. I'm kind of frustrated that I sat through it in real life and had the conversation, to be honest. So silly editing maybe made me feel a bit better about it. The next thing that's sort of on the video is me talking off camera with a person who actually interviewed me. My footage of it is not very good, and my camera cuts out halfway through. So I'll link the description of it in the I'll link the link to it, excuse me, in the description. Ryan Rampage is the channel. It's like an anti-police YouTuber, but I have a full talk with him. So if you want to watch that, follow the link in the description. Thank you very much. Bye bye.